Hiring managers, I have a special message for you. I'm seeing a lot of talk on LinkedIn about ghosting, about not getting the job and watching the same position pop up a week later, getting reposted 6 months down the line when nobody got pulled into the position. I'm seeing a lot of flack. You guys are getting a hard time. You're getting a bad reputation. And I don't think it's your fault. Completely. So here's my advice to you. Hire a fire starter. Hire an outsider. Hire somebody who's not within your orthodoxy. From a serial entrepreneur's point of view, I have raised up and organized people for 25 years, and I have seen teams succeed and fail under various circumstances. The one thing that I've seen hurt teams more than anything is when everyone thinks exactly the same and nobody's gifts are complementary and everything is yes and yes and yes and, but there isn't any innovation, creativity, or challenge in being part of that team. Here's the solution. You need to bring in a fire starter. What do I mean by fire starter? When I was in entertainment back in Southern California, I was friends with some high-profile event planners, and what they would do is they would throw a party. They'd hire a band, they would get the best bartenders, and they would hire a bunch of what they called fire starters to impress their guests. They didn't tell the guests this, but what they would do is they'd hire 2 or 3, sometimes 4, of these folks that were outsiders. So let's say the party was all actors. They would bring in a couple of lawyers, or they would bring in a couple of musicians, or people that were not part of the crew that was going to be there, and they brought them in telling those people, look, I'm going to pay you a few $100 and give you an open bar tab, and I'm going to bring you in to be interesting. These people are bored to tears with each other, they know everything about each other, and they need someone new. And I have found this to be exactly the same in business. You need a fire starter. Here's what I mean. Let's just use a sales team, for example. You've got a bunch of industry folks from, say, they're selling cloud migration services in IT. You're bringing in a new salesman because you're seeing a huge growth opportunity and you want to move that direction. Your team can't handle the workload, so you want to bring in somebody new. If you've got 6 guys that have only done IT sales, they're very successful, they know what they're doing, they work well together, and you're trying to bring in some new blood, you're looking for a blood transfusion. You don't just need to have the same, one more of the exact same person and reproduce that staff. You need somebody that's a little bit different. You need somebody that's going to excite and challenge the team. And here's what I mean. The more things you learn, the more different things you learn in life as you mature, you learn that things are interconnected. They're very similar to each other. So hiking a mountain is a lot like building a business. Cooking in a kitchen is a lot like being married. These things are, and you're already starting to see what I'm talking about, things are interconnected, and the more things you learn, the more experiences you have, the better you get at life. The more involved in life you are, getting your hands dirty, the better you do in all situations, because you can start to see the interconnectedness. I've heard it said that people who see unlimited interconnectedness do nothing with their lives, and the people who see no interconnectedness do nothing with their lives. But the person who can see how things are interconnected, the person that can apply that interconnectedness, that's a successful person. And think about your favorite entrepreneur. Think about your favorite actor. Think about your favorite musician. This is somebody who says this is like this, puts them together, and can create something amazing nobody's ever seen before. It's that ability to mix the old and the new, to see a task that they're unfamiliar with and apply principles from something else that they're very familiar with, that makes a successful person. And so that's what I'm talking about. That's a fire starter. Bringing in an outsider into that sales team is going to not just bring that injection of energy that you're looking for. Think of how grateful somebody who is trying desperately to break into IT would be for a new IT job. Think about how dedicated they would be. Would they put in the extra hours? Yeah, they would. Would they take trainings on their off time? Yeah, they would. Would they take initiative, take on difficult problems, look for hard-to-reach customers? Yeah, they would. Why? Because They have ambition, they're excited, they want to prove themselves, and they have ideas and best practices from somewhere else. They have gifts that the rest of your team doesn't have. Insights and knowledge and skills and principalities in their mind, ways of thinking that are outside of the cage, the grid that your sales team currently has. They're going to see possibilities your team doesn't already see. Can you see what I'm saying about hiring a fire starter? You're going to find the fit that you're looking for by getting out of the box checking, grid based solution that we're all used to using in our jobs. Hiring managers and recruiters, you guys are inundated. You're overwhelmed. You got too many applicants, 1,000 in 4 days on a job that's very sought after. Everybody's hungry right now, and most of them can't even do the job. So here's how you find your fire starter. Here's how you solve both your problem and your team's problem and whoever your customer is. If you're an outside recruiter or if you've got a boss to please, here's how you solve the problem for all of those people. Look for somebody with a varied past and increasing measures of success along the skill set that you're looking for. Maybe they weren't always in the same job. Maybe they changed jobs even every 2 years. Maybe it was every 4 years. Maybe they had side businesses. Look into the granular details of that after you find someone with a varied past. Optimize your search for that. Look for somebody with a lot of different elements to their resume. Then bring them in, assess whether or not they're finding success in those things or whether they're just ping-ponging around aimlessly. When you find the person that's finding success in multiple arenas, bring those people in for your hiring. Talk to them about what they want to do and why they've chosen this job. That's an interesting person. That's an outsider. That's somebody who will be grateful. That is your fire starter. So that's my big advice to the hiring managers this week. Don't just phone in the status quo and try to get done and get out of there because your job's too stressful. We understand it. It's horrible. Those of us who are in other systematic and repetitive roles, we feel for you. We understand. It's difficult. So this is a hack to try to get to the end of your week feeling accomplished, to get that surge of excitement when you find the perfect fit. Look for a fire starter.